there, it's Nancy Ho. Okay, welcome to this video. Well, in my last video, I talked about buy-in or what you do not buy. But it's not buying in that's important, it's a distortion. If there's distortion, then you find it hard to completely buy in. Alright? If you missed that, go back to the last video. Alright, the purpose of me talking about buying the last time is actually to lead to this particular segment today. Alright? Now, in order for you to buy in, okay, of course, minus the distortion or the distorted thoughts, right? After you buy in, what do? You don't just sit, right? There's action plan. Like everything else, right? If there's no action, nothing happens. You cannot remain in your thoughts. Thoughts is great to want to create something, but you need that action to carry through your plan and make it happen. So therefore, at the end of the day, the action plan also got to come from decision. And life is all about decision making, not about thinking. So often when someone says, let me think about it, I need time to think about it. You know what it means? They actually mean, let me buy time. How pathetic is that? Do you realize we're coming to the end of 2016? How has it been for you? Have you been making some good decisions that have impacted your life? Or are you still thinking about it? Let's get my point. But of course, in order to make decision, we need information. All right, we need information. Okay, and information is not through thinking. Information is through our observation, our knowledge, our understanding, and most important, our practices. What do I mean by practice? I'm not talking about the Tai Chi practice, the yoga practice, even my yoga practice or your meditation practice, whatever practice that you do, okay? Now, I'm talking about the rest of the time, your waking hours. Let's take it, we have 18 hours that we are awake, okay? Out of 24 hours, take an average 18 hours. So even if you take 1 hour to do whatever relevant practice, or some people might take 2 hours, okay, let's take it as hour, all right? But that 1 hour of practice, no matter how good and how solid, if your 17 hours of practice is negative, forget it. Don't even bother. I've seen it so often, okay? Some very advanced so-called yogis, right? Wow, they do advanced poses in the studio, Then when they're in the, shower room, the stuff they talk about, those are the practices. Wow, did you not just come out of your yoga class and yet after that you go chat, completely override. I'm talking about the 17 hours of your moment to moment thinking, thoughts that affects your feelings and your feelings affects your action. What are you practicing? Are you practicing being calculated, stingy, narrow-minded, resentment, anger, complaining, or like a whole group of headless chicken making a lot of noise, but God knows they're just noise? Or you're just one of those people that add to those noise in the Facebook? Are you practicing that? If you're practicing that, you know what your life is going to become. You become what you do every moment. On the other hand, if you're practicing generosity, okay, kindness, love, being open-minded, okay, then you know what kind of life you would have. I'll give you a couple of examples. Just this morning, I was going to cross the road. I was out in Holland Village, and I was walking towards this elderly lady. She's probably in her 60s, and I've seen her now and again selling tissue paper. One of those ladies, right? And she had this bag, and it doesn't look heavy, but obviously it's probably, tissue paper you're going to find a spot and sell later. So before approaching her, my practice, give her something. So I went to my bag, took my wallet, take out some money, hold it in my hand, walk towards her. Good morning, auntie, this is for you. And what did she say? Oh, thank you. You're so kind. How nice is that? I'm not expecting that, but isn't it a nice energy that it's more so that I have helped someone to feel good that someone cares. And don't you think the impact that she feels good and in turn she'd be nice to someone else? Get my point? But when you're going to practice anger, what happened? That person gets angry too, right? So you bounce. What do you get? What goes around comes around. Okay? And I'm not talking of just money, giving money away. I'm talking acts, small acts. Like I was in Harbourfront. I was going to go across the road to Harbourfront, and I saw this 60-over-year-old Malay lady. And she obviously was carrying two very heavy bags, and she was like limping. So I literally rushed to her, okay? And I said, let me help you, auntie. And I, really heavy, okay, trust me. And I took the bag, and I walked up the stairs, crossed the road, and as I suspected, she probably is going to Batam, right? So I asked her where she's going. She says, yeah, she's going to go Batam, so she take the ferry. So I actually walked all the way to the ferry pier, okay? Quite a distance, trust me. And then she was like, oh, so kind of you, it's so nice, but you really don't have to help me like that. And I said, don't worry about it. Enjoy your trip. And I could see that aura. What? Somebody cares. Think about it. If you can just practice that little act that you care, and the person that receives, somebody cares, she in turn will care for someone. Wouldn't that be nice? I don't tell the whole world what I've done. I'm just using this example as I do this video, right? I do it because of my practice. So naturally in my life, majority of the time, 99% of the time, good things come to me. Why? Because of my practices. So, think about it. What are you practicing? Be careful. What goes around, comes around. It's not about another person. It's always about your mind, consciousness, thoughts. That's all there is. All right? I wish you well and see you soon. Practice, practice, practice. Good practice. All right? Cheers.